Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Horror Analysis with me, Drew. Quick one for today. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Okay, hold on. Quick one for you today. Never mind me. I'm continuing on with... I thought of something, sorry. I'm continuing on with horror anthropology. And continuing on with horror anthropology, I'm not going to South America yet, and I did add another one onto my list. That's what I'm after. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to do a quick video on Africa. I only have about, 7 or 8 things to talk about in the entire continent of Africa, because it's kind of light on horror. As to why it's light on horror, there's probably lots of good reasons, socio-political reasons that I have no idea about. Africa's a rough place, and it's a rough continent. There is some, Egypt has a little bit of film. South Africa has a little bit of film. Nigeria has, the second biggest film industry in the world after India. They release 200 videos a month, according to Wikipedia, and they're called Nollywood. Nollywood films. So Nigeria has a very booming film industry, but not a lot of horror films out of there either. A lot of dramas, most of the films in Africa, I looked through and they were just like, oh my god, this is so fucking depressing. After looking through country after country after country. A few did pop up, and I'll talk about the ones that popped up, obviously. There is a bit, Stephen King goes over, Stephen King goes over, what the booms of horror are. The booms of horror when he was growing up with B movies. There was a lot of stability in the culture, and one can make an argument that Africa, many places in Africa, and many, there's not the stability needed to have a flourishing horror community. With the exception of those other places that I mentioned already. I got my tea. That is a delicious cup of rooibos. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm not going to guess as to the reasons why Africa, has so few horror stories. I'd love to see, African folk tales or something. That there's got to be some pretty creepy stuff in there, I'd think / hope. But I don't know of any. That's the thing. So, we'll just go on to the ones that do pop up. So, since I was talking about Nollywood earlier, 200 videos a month. It's the second largest film industry in the world. That beats out the U.S. The only one bigger than that is India, Bollywood, and other Indian films. So the two Nollywood movies, the two Nigerian cinema movies that are I was able to find were Living in Bondage from 1992. I have the clip here. And you can find this preview on YouTube. And it was pretty good looking preview for, a low budget horror movie. Involves devil worship. A guy joins a devil worshipping cult and sacrifices his wife that he loved and gets money and whatever, and then he's haunted by the ghost of his wife. That's the sentence I wanted to say. The other movie that came out and it was drama, but supernatural drama is what it was called. The other movie was Outcast in 2001. And it's Outcast spelled with a K, according to the Wikipedia article. And if you type in Outcast with a K and then 2001 next to it, you get about 50 versions of the Outcast band doing Mrs. Jackson, or The Whole World, or Stankonia CD. Right. Actually, Whole World wasn't Stankonia, was it? No. Never mind. I'm not a huge Outkast fan. They're good. Actually, I quite like when I listen to rap that they're up there, which is a rare occasion. But it does cut down on the ability to find Outcast, the movie, 2001 from Nigeria. I just can't find it. Let's see, the next one. Oh, yeah. After Nigeria, I'm going to go up to Egypt. I just looked this one up. This is the one I was typing in while I was introducing everything. So, Egyptian director. Cool. Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few by this guy. There's an Egyptian director who directs in Italy. So when I was going over the Italian stuff, I found him. And I was just making a note that that this stuff was available. Let me actually pop up a picture. Here we go. Cool. Yeah. So Ovidio Asanitis is an Egyptian director. He was born in Alexandria, and he works in. He's 70 now. He's still doing it. Ooh, wait, did he do that? He did. Oh no, that. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. He did quite a few. He did Tentacles, which I have up here. Let me see if I can get the copy of this picture real quick. Save image as. There we go. And he did Red Riding Hood, which I've actually seen in the video store before, or Bull Moose or FYE. That's another one I've actually seen. This is available in the US, so which is obviously based on Low Red Riding Hood, but other stuff. I don't know any of these other ones. Piranha 2, The Spawning. Oh, and I told you about the James Cameron Piranha movie. He wrote it, which was pretty cool, which is actually pretty funny too. So I hope you guys watched the that preview that I recommended when talking about James Cameron doing his first film in Italy. Oh, I have my tie on still. That's weird. Doing his first film in Italy, which was Piranha 2, The Flying Piranha, The Spawning. And this guy, this Egyptian director working in Italy, wrote it. And is along with directing Little Red Riding Hood and this tentacle thing. So, yeah. So there's there's more stuff there. He's working in Italy, so it's not like there's a lot of work in Egypt for a sci-fi horror director. B-movie director, I guess, would be possibly. The work he has to get in Italy, so, but he is an Egyptian-born director. Then, of course, we have South Africa. There is a number of movies from South Africa. I think starting with earliest one would be Albino, which was a Christopher Lee thing. So he came to South Africa to do this sort of actiony. It's a thriller more than a movie itself, more than a horror movie. I'm actually gonna put that here. Anyway. The most famous one was District 9, which takes place in Johannesburg. Peter Jackson's on here, and Peter Jackson's most of the reason I'm not combining this with Oceania. I was going to do Africa as a continent, and then Australia, New Zealand, and Oceania, Micronesia, and all those together. But with Peter Jackson, really deserves his own thing entirely, because I've been enjoying the heck out of Peter Jackson stuff. As much as I dislike Lord of the Rings and that kind of stuff, which I just don't like those movies. I can see the scary bits in them, though. If you watch the Lord of the Rings movies, you can at least understand the scary bits. I just think they're long and draggy. So I'm going to deal with Oceania in a separate video. That's going to be my next one, and then I'll go to South America. And then there's a couple more from I was able to find for... Oh, District 9, actually, that's, if you guys don't know District 9, it's a blockbuster. Goodness, that came out 2010, 11? Let me take a look. Oh, I don't have it on here. It's not on the list of movies for South Africa, apparently. Oh, it's a sci-fi action thriller, according to Wikipedia, so it doesn't count as a South African horror movie. Most of the South African horror movies are non-South African based, like, what do we have? The Bone Snatcher, The Lost Boys, the sequel to The Lost Boys, The Mangler, which is Stephen King and Tobe Hooper, Dracula 3000, Surviving Evil, is that one? What was Surviving Evil? Oh yeah, that was the one that took place in Malaya? Space Mutiny. So, yeah. So other than that, there are ones that I guess still count. Hold on. There is District 9, Oh, The Bone Snatchers, which apparently takes place in Africa, South Africa as well. Which is essentially, there's a diamond mine with killer bugs in it. And, man versus killer bugs in the diamond mine. Pretty typical stuff. And then there's This one called Eternity, which got, I think, pretty bad reviews, but it's a vampire movie. It takes place in South Africa, Johannesburg as well, and I think it's sort of like someone working on a cure for AIDS with vampires. Finds out that one of the cures for AIDS actually, supposed cures for AIDS actually, or HIV, lets vampires walk around in the daylight. And then there's a gang war between the vampires over the stuff. So, it looked interesting concept, but apparently the execution was not good. Yeah, and that is the extent of African movies. And out of the 7 pictures that I showed you, 2 of them were Italian films by an Egyptian director. And I think Egypt also popped up in our Middle East section. So I don't think that really even, Egypt can also be considered Middle East by some. So there's District 9 and Albino, Body Snatchers, Eternity, Outcast, which I have no information on, and Living in Bondage, which I would recommend you guys going and checking out the preview. If I can find it again, I'll put it up on the link. It was weird, but it was good. So, Africa, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information on it. There's not a lot of horror movies from there. I can't think of any horror writers. I can't think of any horror stories that are really popping up. Pardon me. So next time I'm going to go over Oceania. I think it deserves its own section. Australia and New Zealand movies. I couldn't find much for Micronesia and Polynesia, but it deserves its own section because there's a lot of good stuff in there, and it doesn't really get rolled in with American and British movies. There's less of a crossover for American and British movies and Australian and New Zealand movies. And there shouldn't be, because from the previews I've seen are fantastic. I'm going to have to go watch a lot more previews and probably see if I can check out some of these full things if they're available on YouTube. The full films themselves. Anyway, folks. Africa. It's short. It's less than 20-minute video. I'll continue with horror anthropology. So, till next time, I'm Drew. Thanks for watching Horror Analysis. Have a great night.